Florida health officials have identified a second Miami neighborhood where mosquitoes have spread the Zika virus to people. At least 5 people have been infected in a 1 square mile area near what's called Little Haiti. That brings the total number of Zika cases in that state to more than 1,000. Most of those people caught the virus while traveling outside the U.S.
Overnight, several families forced from their homes after a 2-alarm fire rips through several buildings on South Clinton Street in Canton.
Yeah, scary situation. One woman actually had to jump from her building to escape and got injured. ABC 2 News' Brendan McNamara is live at the scene. Brendan, how are things looking out there this morning?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, well, the cleanup continues here this morning. Crews have been here for most of the night, boarding up windows and just cleaning things up after what was a pretty big fire here in Canton. There were scary moments for a lot of the people who lived here all around this neighborhood shortly before 11 o'clock last night. There were huge flames. One resident even told us it was nothing like he's ever seen before. It spread to at least 3 buildings here, 2 of which are vacant, according to firefighters. The home where it started in was not vacant, though. A 60-year-old woman and her son initially had some trouble getting out of the home. Neighbors saw all of it. Eventually, the neighbor said that the woman and her son decided to jump off a second-floor roof. The son is fine, but the mother was not fine.
They found flames coming through the roof that were about 5 to 10 feet high. Apparently there was a 60-year-old female that jumped from a second-floor window. She received moderate injuries. She's been transported to the burn center.
The jump actually happened in the back of the building, but this is the second-floor window here, just to give you an idea of how far both of those people had to jump just to get out of the burning house. The good news is that the woman is expected to survive. She was burned and also hurt as well from the fall, but the son, he was not injured at all. And also, so far, guys, the cause of the fire is also still under investigation. For now, back to you.
Breaking overnight, police arrest 2 teenagers that is in the shooting of another teen in Raytown. Officers say someone shot the teenager at a home near 65th Terrace in Overton around 10:30 last night. Shortly afterwards, police spotted a car suspected in the shooting, and following a chase, 2 teens in a car ran off near 71 Highway and Emmanuel Cleaver. That's where police arrested them. The teenager is
accused of crashing his truck full speed into a Lakeland house is expected in court today. 24-year-old Ryan Talent is in jail on DUI manslaughter charges. Investigators say he crashed his truck right into the guest room of this home on Orange Valley Drive. Janice Foles had just walked into the room. She was killed by the impact. Investigators say after the crash, Talent actually tried to walk home. He has a long list of traffic violations. In fact,
a man accused of killing his girlfriend in Florida and kidnapping his 4-year-old son has been found dead in Baltimore. Norris Dale Sr.'s body was found in a wooded area on North Woodington Road in West Baltimore Wednesday. Police believe he killed himself. Dale was wanted for first-degree murder in Jacksonville. His girlfriend was found murdered in their home on September 28th. That same day, an Amber Alert was issued for his 4-year-old son who was missing. The boy was later found safe with family in Baltimore.
Kate Rich, these 2 suspects are accused of killing a 95-year-old man in a home invasion here in Orange, but they were actually arrested in Virginia. And we have video for you right now of these suspects being brought back here to Orange after that arrest in Virginia. 23-year-old Joshua Hart and 27-year-old Brittany Smith, who are both from Athol, are suspected of murdering 95-year-old Thomas Hardy and seriously wounding his wife, Joanna Fisher, in their East River Street home, which is just a mile and a half away from this courthouse. They'll be arraigned here in Orange District Court later this morning. Hart and Smith were arraigned in a Virginia courtroom Tuesday afternoon, 3 days after they were arrested in a parking lot of a Walmart in Lexington, Virginia. They were brought back to Orange Wednesday night after they waived extradition in Virginia. The 2 allegedly made a getaway in the couple's Toyota Corolla wagon and continued to commit crimes while on the run. They're accused of committing a robbery at a mall in Harrisonburg, Virginia, 2 days after Hardy's murder. They are scheduled for arraignment on charges of murder, attempted murder, home invasion, and robbery. And that arraignment is scheduled to take place at 11:30 this morning. We will be in court and will bring you any new information as it begins.
4 men you see in this surveillance video will be tried separately for the crime, which means 4 long, emotional trials for the victim's family. 41 Action News anchor Cynthia Newsom is now live at the courthouse. Cynthia.
Well, the decision today means a long road ahead for prosecutors, for police detectives, and also for Becky Beaker. She is the widow of John Beaker, who was shot and killed during the botched robbery at She's a Pistol. Now, with the decision today, that means that Becky Beaker is going to have to testify 4 times, and prosecutors are going to have to present their case 4 times. Let's take a look now at the video. It was in January of 2015 that the actual event happened. This was the murder at the She's a Pistol murder store. The judge hasn't even set a trial date, and he won't for another 60 days, so 2 years will pass before the first trial begins. Now, this is the first time for months that the 4 murder suspects have been in court together. They all wanted the same thing, to be tried separately. DeAnthony is in a wheelchair, and his defense attorney successfully convinced the judge.
Because these charges are so serious, of course, Mr. Wiley needs to be afforded an opportunity to have a fair trial where he's not defending against multiple parties. He's not defending against Mr. Patterson's accusations and against the state's accusations.
There's several other cases where one party played one role and the other party played a different role in the crime, but they were still tried together.
Now, again, the defense attorney convinced the judge to let Wiley have a separate trial, and that means all 4 suspects in this case, the She's a Pistol murder trial, will be tried separately. We'll keep following it for you at the Johnson County Courthouse.
The French Army Museum in Paris is hosting an exhibition unveiling the history of secret wars. The fair is dating back to France's Second Empire until the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991. It's unveiling the fantasized world of intelligence services and secret brokers. Organizers say almost 400 objects and archives are on display, including guides to sabotage, books teaching the art of disguise, tools used for espionage, and the code deciphering machines. The exhibition runs until January 29th.
To find my own joy and find our own light.
You got it. Good job.
The widow of a man gunned down on the West Side in 2014 is now pushing forward and taking life one day at a time. She's also inspiring those around her to do just that, as tonight she is representing the community in a special way. RTV6's Katie Hines is there.
The torch relay is a key part of Indiana's bicentennial celebration, a celebration of how far the state has come. But for one torchbearer here in central Indiana, it's a celebration of overcoming adversity, one step at a time.
Do you want to do the teeter-totter? Over here?
Jennifer Trapezzano is working to figure out a new normal with her 2-year-old daughter, Cecilia. It has been 2.5 years since her husband, Nathan, was shot and killed while out on a morning walk.
And I have good days and bad days, too. I'd say I have more good days than bad days. Like I said, I laugh, I smile, I sing in the car with her, and then there are days where I just wake up and my heart clenches and I remember that morning all over again.
She's turned her grief into a way to help others, creating a foundation in Nathan's honor to raise money for children like Cecilia, who have lost a parent. Today, the community is recognizing that resilience and determination to do good in the wake of tragedy. After being escorted by police in Whitestown, Trapezzano is carrying the torch for the bicentennial relay. Hers part of a journey spanning 3,200 miles in all 92 counties.
If you had asked me 3 years ago if people would know who I was, I would have probably just laughed. And now it's just an honor to have this opportunity to walk as a Hoosier.
2 years ago, Trapezzano tells me she wasn't sure she'd ever smile again, but she has a message to share in the midst of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
I would say that even in the darkest times, there's always a light. You can turn any evil into something good, and just to always have hope, even when you're struggling.
One step at
Thank you, Lindsay. Another wild story breaking overnight. A chase involving several officers reaches 100 miles per hour speeds and ends with an arrest.
Yeah, it began near 35th and Monroe when an officer noticed the speeding and erratic driver. It ended about 20 minutes north near Northwest 72nd Street and Broadway in Gladstone. At several points during the chase, the driver ran stop signs and stop lights. Police also lost him a couple of times. A woman who was kicked out of the car claims the driver kidnapped and raped her. Police are investigating that. They eventually caught up with the driver.
Hey, good morning, Amanda. Well, officers are just getting their day started. They held roll call here at the North District, where just hours ago a gunman targeted the building. Here's what we know so far. 2 officers were inside when someone started shooting around 11 o'clock last night. They immediately took cover and were not injured. Detectives say several shots were fired, striking the side of the building, some of its windows, and a car in the parking lot. They believe the suspect was on foot while shooting, then got into a car and sped away. Right now, detectives do not have a description of that vehicle or suspect, but IMPD Police Chief Troy Riggs says the shooter is likely behind the previous incident at the Northwest District headquarters. While more officers will be assigned to finding this person, Riggs adds he won't be taking personnel away from solving other crimes.
We're not sparing any personnel, any investigators. We're working hard and looking for this individual like we do anyone that perpetuates violence in our community towards any individual, not just IMPD.
And Riggs also is asking the public for their help. If you have any information about this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. Reporting live on the city's north side, Emily Pace, RTV6.
Thank you, Emily. Like we said, this shooting targeted the building close to Washington Park. Well, that area has seen a number of shootings and homicides this year. You can see the details behind each death on this map. We made the map easy for you to find.